Hello, I'm doing a book review, and the book I want to review is Strange Highways by Dean Koontz. Now, the whole book, Strange Highways, is actually a collection of 2 novellas and 12 short stories by Dean Koontz, but I'm not going to be reviewing the whole collection. I'm only going to be reviewing the first novella in this book, which is the novella Strange Highways, which of course is the title story. Now, the novella Strange Highways is about a man named Joey Shannon who 20 years ago he had an experience which changed his life for the worst. Basically, after this experience, his life completely went downhill. Like, he became an alcoholic and stuff, and basically his brother has gone on to become very successful. His brother has actually gone on to become a writer, but his life has completely gone downhill ever since this day 20 years ago. But now it's 20 years later, and he finds out that his father died, so he returns to the small town in which he lived in 20 years ago for his father's funeral. What happens is, after his father's funeral, he's driving, and basically he goes through a time warp. Essentially, it's a time travel story. Basically, he's sent back in time 20 years ago to that day when, which basically ruined his life, and basically he now has to fix what happened, and when he goes back in time, you find out what exactly it was that happened that day, and you find out why it ruined his life. And basically, but one thing about the story is there's a lot of, like, religious overtones in the story. Basically, in the story, it's suggested that, Joey was actually sent back in time by a higher being, possibly God. And there is a bad guy in this story too, and the bad guy is actually a Satanist. So there's kind of this whole thing of God versus Satan in the story, but I don't want to give away who the bad guy is, though, but it's somebody who at first you're not expecting to be the bad guy. But it's a very good story, though, and basically, before he goes back in time, he also starts seeing the ghost of this woman, who is actually a woman that the Satanist murdered. But I don't want to give away who this Satanist is, though, but it is somebody who at first you're not expecting to be the bad guy. But it's a very good novella. Now this was published in 1995, and so far I haven't read too many of the other stories in this book. I've read a short story called The Black Pumpkin and a short story called Kittens, which are both part of this collection, but like I said, this isn't a review on the whole collection, it's a review on the first novella in the collection. But I do recommend the story, though. Now, I just read this, finished reading this, a few days ago, and before this, I read another book by Dean Koontz called Watchers. Watchers was another really good book by Dean Koontz, which I might do a review for sometime in the future, but, so yeah, definitely check this, novella out. I can't say I recommend the whole collection because I haven't read all the stories in the collection, but the first story is very good, and that's it, and bye.